man's favorite cuisines is Mexican food. Several years ago, I learned how to make homemade flour tortillas. The results are so good that since then, we always make fresh tortillas when we cook Mexican food at home. Today, I'm going to show you how you can make these amazing tortillas, which will impress any dinner guest. For this recipe, you will need 3½ cups of flour, which I've already placed into a large bowl, plus a little more for dusting later. A generous ½ cup of vegetable shortening, 1½ teaspoons of salt, and 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of warm water. You will also need a rolling pin, spoon, and preferably a pastry blender, although a fork will do. I find that a dough scraper also helps, but is not necessary. First, place the flour in a large bowl and add the salt. Stir briefly to combine. Next, add the shortening. And using the pastry blender or fork, mix the shortening into the flour. Keep cutting it in, spreading it all throughout the flour until it resembles crumbs. Should look about like that. Next, we'll add about half of the water and mix it in. Keep adding water a little at a time. If you add too much water, you could always add a little bit of flour, and if the dough is still too dry, you could add a little bit more water. We're going to knead it on a lightly floured surface just for a couple minutes so it's nice and smooth. Kneading is important to help activate the gluten. Now you see we've got this large ball. It doesn't stick to our fingers. So the dough is ready. Next, we're going to roll the dough into 12 equal balls. And we're going to set them on a plate. The finished tortillas will be about 10 inches in diameter. If you prefer to make taco-sized tortillas, which are about 5 to 6 inches, roll the dough into 20 to 24 balls. The joke in our family is that dough gets tired easily. So at this point, you need to cover with a towel and let it rest for 15 to 60 minutes. The longer you let it rest, the better the results. Allowing the dough to rest lets the flour absorb the water and the gluten relax. This will make it easier for you to roll out the tortillas. Once the dough is done resting, we're going to roll the tortillas out. Sprinkle your surface with a little bit of flour. Put some on the rolling pin too. Place the tortilla on the middle of your surface. Start in the middle. Press out. I like to flip the tortilla over about halfway. It's okay if they're not perfectly round, they'll still taste good. They should be semi-translucent. So if you're using a mat like this, you can start to see the red rings underneath of it. We're going to place them on a plate with parchment paper in between the different tortillas to keep them from sticking. Now that all the tortillas are rolled out, we're going to head over to the stove to cook them. To cook the tortillas, heat a large skillet over medium-high heat. Wait until the pan is very hot before you put the tortillas in. You're going to cook it for 1 to 2 minutes per side until it get slightly browned. Now we have a nice, beautiful homemade tortilla. Keep cooking the tortillas until all are cooked. Now we have a plate of fresh homemade tortillas. The tortillas are best eaten the same day, but will last for a couple days. Store covered and warm before eating. Now all you need is your favorite burrito or taco ingredients, and you can enjoy these delicious homemade tortillas.